to create an impactful and scalable model for greater water efficiency in Jamaica. And in particular, the project really seeks to help us to enhance Jamaica's climate resilience through the use of water adaptation technology in the country's housing sector. The project really tends to zoom in on the important role which both householders and developers can and indeed should play to improve cost-effective water use in the housing sector to help us to achieve both efficiency as well as resiliency and over the long term security of our water resources. So in fact, we're really extremely happy to have every single one of you here today to pitch, because the ideas that you've brought to the fore are ideas that we fundamentally believe can make a difference to this particular situation, and even more broadly can make a difference to how we start adapting to the reality of climate change. And so without further ado, I would just say all the very best to every single one of you. May the best three teams take home the prize today, and we look forward to an exciting evening of you sharing your ideas. Thank you so much.
As the sun rises over the mountain, I am almost blinded by its beauty. I close my little eyes as its warmth touches my cheeks. I smile and welcome every moment of it, wishing we would take care of you the way you take care of all of us.
The Jamaica National Group I consider to be a corporate pioneer in this entire conversation around climate change. Everybody is facing the reality that things are changing around us. And wherever you stand there, it doesn't change the fact that year on year, there are moments when we benefit from heavy rainfall, and then there are moments when there is little to no rainfall.
So this new ministry, we are the dynamic Ministry of Housing,
I just want
Urban
to remind
Renewal,
you
Environment and
that the
Climate
winner
Change.
walks away with a $2
And
million
our
grant,
responsibility
which I think is a very
is
big
to
deal.
ensure that the
So it's
coupling
things
of
like
our
the Jamaica
portfolio
Humanitarian
areas
Foundation and those persons
is
come up here.
reflected
I
in the
know that we're going to
policy,
give them a party.
in the legislation,
Thank
and in the
you.
projects
Alright?
that we advance.
I'm just reminding
As
you, $2
Jamaica's
million is on
foremost
the
development partner
line.
for the last
Thank you
50
so very
years,
much to our general
IDB is
manager
intently
and to all the
focused
team members
on
who saw the
deep-rooted
importance of
partnerships
having
with
a
the government and
pitch
private sector
like
towards
this.
development of the region
The Earth's
and
temperatures
improving
are
lives.
rising,
We are
and with
told that
it,
time
its
heals.
waters are rising too, with telltale signs of major climate impact around us. Our environment is no longer whispering to us, but rather it is shouting to us all to rise in unison to the challenges presented by climate change. I now invite everyone to kindly turn your attention to the screen.
As the sun rises over the mountain, I am almost blinded by its beauty. I close my little eyes as its warmth touches my cheeks. I smile and welcome every moment of it, wishing we would take care of you the way you take care of all of us.
The Jamaica National Group I consider to be a corporate pioneer in this entire conversation around climate change. Everybody is facing the reality that things are changing around us. And wherever you stand there, it doesn't change the fact that year on year, there are moments when we benefit from heavy rainfall, and then there are moments when there is little to no rainfall.
So this new ministry, we are the dynamic Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. And our responsibility is to ensure that the coupling of our portfolio areas is reflected in the policy, in the legislation, and in the projects that we advance.
As Jamaica's foremost development partner for the last
50 years, IDB is intently focused on deep-rooted partnerships with the government and private sector towards development of the region and improving lives.
We are told that time heals all wounds. So I wonder, will time heal the wounds of this earth? I can't help but to think, though, that maybe, just maybe, time will heal, but only by our own hands.
Raising awareness, having this conversation that, this is real, it's happening, it's impacting our daily lives. But at the same time, here's a couple of things we could do differently.
These sorts of initiatives are important to IDB to work with our partners in ensuring that we can be more climate resilient.
We've done good work as a country over the last 4 years with the Climate Change Division, the PIOJ, and other stakeholders. Our Prime Minister has been prominent in the fight to advance climate financing, particularly for small island developing states.
The issue to do with climate, the issues to do with our environment, it's not going away. It was a concern to me when I was 13 years old, and here I am today, and it's still a concern.
If our children own the responsibility to waste less, to not throw the plastic bottle out, to separate garbage, to find ways to use rainwater harvesting, to become innovators and inventors, then the next generation of Jamaicans won't have to be learning sustainable practices. It'll be integrated into our culture.
What future is there for us? What kind of world are we inheriting? A question we should all ask ourselves. After all, we have received so much, but have given so little in return.
How could I ensure that I'm saving the water and using it a lot more efficiently? How can I, as a plumber, enable persons around me by showing them simple things like how to harvest the rainwater when it is here?
Water scarcity is one of the reasons why we have this partnership. It is to initiate activities that facilitates uptake of water adaptation measures in Jamaica housing sector.
The first goal is really to build on the work that has been done to ensure that we advance our updating of the climate change policy, the National Adaptation Plan, the implementation of our national determined contributions, and that we make sure Jamaica continues to be a strong leader internationally.
I have been just so proud of the fact that Jamaica National Group, through the JN Foundation, we have found a way to partner with the Inter-American Development Bank and its associated partners to do something about it.
Our planet is calling out to us to make a change before it's too late. Our actions have to be fast, conscious, and deliberate.
It's really a lot about behavior. So even though we're talking about raising awareness, that's the drop in the bucket. It's really about, after I've heard this information, what am I going to do about it? And that takes a lot longer because it's now about people changing their habits. When I'm brushing my teeth, am I going to keep the tap running or am I going to turn it off?
How can we help to reduce or prevent emissions in greenhouse gas? For example, for those who can, you can buy or drive an electric vehicle. Or there are new technologies around renewable energy. And one specific thing is around consumer behavior.
If we start by everyone owning the responsibility for themselves in how they think, in what they do, in how they make their own decisions, then flowing from that will be a multiplicity of positive outcomes.
While I've been so proud and so happy to know that Jamaica National Group, JN Foundation, has in fact been pioneering as a corporate entity to assist in solving, in particular, our water issue, it's not something that we can solve on our own. In fact, it's extremely ambitious for us to use the word solve. But what is not ambitious is seeing other entities, other corporate entities coming on board, nationally, regionally, and it's when that starts happening that in fact we start seeing the needle moving.
The goal has to be streamlining sustainable practices across the government, while also ensuring that we have significant and lasting behavior change. So every Jamaican should understand why we're doing it now is to protect us tomorrow.
We need to play our own part. We need to access opportunities for innovation in our own space, in our own environment, to see how we can be aware, be prepared, and act.
Do it for this beautiful planet we call home. Do it for us and the next generation.
Every Jamaican must be a part of the movement, whether it is climate change, environment, housing, or urban renewal.
One of the things that we've done is publish the homeowner's guide that's available on our project website, waterprojectja.com. And anyone can download that resource and see some simple things, some simple changes that you can make to everyday behavior that can make a huge difference.
In every challenge, there's opportunity. We just have to find the opportunity.
And not you see the changes to our climate as a crisis or not. There are things that we're experiencing every day. And here we're offering entrepreneurs a way to come up with ideas that helps us to solve some of these everyday challenges.
And I hope that from this challenge, in addition to the awareness that will be built, there will be solutions that will be developed that can be implemented and create opportunities for entrepreneurship while creating products and services that will help us to live and adapt to climate change.
I came into this world crying as I took my first breath. It was tears of joy. But will I take my last breath crying with tears of sorrow, knowing that I left a very sad planet called Earth behind?
If we
Take care.
Of the earth.
Mother Earth will in turn
Take care of us.
Wasn't that a beautiful message? We wanted to rise to the challenge, and there were just about maybe 3 or 4 takeaways when I watched that video. The young lady who was journaling, she basically asked one simple question, and that is, will time heal the wounds that are on Mother Earth? And the answer is yes, but it takes action. Therefore, we want to remind everyone who is watching, the family, the friends, the relatives, that climate change is not a trend, it's not a buzzword, it is not a talk shop. It actually requires action. And we heard the general manager says that the action needs to be fast, it needs to be conscious, and it needs to be deliberate. And if we think of a person like Greta Thunberg, who was 16 years old, when she started the global movement for climate change, she was one person. Therefore, I challenge all of us, not just our children, but us as parents and teachers and green entrepreneurs, to rise to the challenge as well. So we definitely want to take the opportunity to thank JN Foundation and all the partners who are definitely the pioneers in this space. Could I invite you to kind of make another round of applause for JN Foundation and this climate innovation competition? So let us get to the judges. We understand that there were over 40 applicants. Many were called, but few were chosen. 8 to be exact. 8 challengers have accepted the challenge. And simply put, we need esteemed judges who will be very fair with their deliberations. Tony, who is the CEO of Zappos, said, chase the vision, not the money. The money will end up following you. We would hasten to add, especially if the business is built on a sound premise, offers a marketable solution, and is scalable. Successful green businesses have to achieve this and be truly sustainable No greenwashing, but green building. To help our amazing entrepreneurs achieve this goal, we have selected 3 experienced judges who are tasked with analyzing the pitches for soundness and viability. So without further ado, I will introduce them to you. These are your judges. No pressure. Kimberly Atkinson. She is the Communication and Client Services Manager at JN Small Business Loans Limited. She has 13 years experience in the financial services industry, spanning retail banking, insurance, and SME lending. She has supported numerous small businesses in assessing, preparing, and identifying suitable loan solutions for their business needs. She holds a Master of Arts in Communication from the University of the West Indies. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome Kimberly Atkinson. Catherine Chin-Si is the lead research analyst in innovation at MC Systems. Catherine Chin-Si started her journey of improving people's lives and experiences about a decade ago. Being able to positively impact community, the lives of Jamaicans, and those within our region is of paramount importance and drives her growth. Spreading the theme of innovation across business and society to create value in experiences in the lives of all. She brings to the table knowledge and experience in design thinking, business systems analysis, robotic process automation, you go girl, and other emerging technologies being used to support life and business today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Catherine Chin-Si. Welcome. And last but not least, the lone gentleman on the panel, Dr. Cliff Riley, I'm sure he does not mind, is the Executive Director of the Scientific Research Council, Jamaica. He also currently serves as the President of CARI Science, Commissioner, National Commission of Science and Technology, Director of the Environmental Health Fund, Carnegie Foundation for Cancer Research, the Caribbean Climate Innovation Center, and the Diabetes Association of Jamaica. Impeccable. He holds a PhD on pharmaceutical biotechnology and an MA in science education from the University of the West Indies, Mona. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Cliff Riley. So as you can see, this is not dibby, pian competition, which means that our challengers are challenged to bring their A game. I hear a challenger say, oh dear. Let me remind you, you guys accepted in the name of Jesus. Our esteemed judges bring their brilliance and experience. However, their selections will be guided by the criteria for the pitch, including sustainability, climate impact, market readiness, and more. And to provide us with more details, we now welcome Project Manager of the Water Project, Cornelia Walters Jones. Please make her welcome.
Thank you, Terry. You hear? No dibby, pian, pian. All right. eBiome, are we ready? Yes, we're ready. Pre-Labs Limited, are we ready? All right. Artel, are we ready? GNOC, are we ready? Integrated Recyclers Limited, are we ready? Ceres Labs, are we ready? Tell them. And solar powered water ATMs, are we ready? All right, so it's 2 days. Huh? What? My dear, my sincerest apologies. Waco, Spanish, Waco. Are we ready? You sure? Ready. Okay. So I'm just going to go into the rules of the pitch. So now, there are 6 categories: business or market potential, job potential or social impact, innovation of technology potential, climate impact, strength management team, and the quality of the pitch. These are the categories that you will be judged by. There are 5, the maximum points for each section is 5 points, and the least is 1 point. Guys, you've been here since yesterday. You know what is at stake. Let us talk about what is at stake. $2 million, $800,000, and $575,000 in grand prizes. I wish you all the best. You know why you are here, because you have the potential. Thank you so much for coming, and all the best.
Now, if I was a judge, Uno would have lose points right away for the dibby dibby pian pian response to your very brand name. Like, you hear the people them call your name good. We have millions of people watching remotely. We might have angel investors and funders all the way across the world. And you hear Cornelia Walters Jones say your name, and me just hear a I think I heard one. You know, we want to remind you, that we're going to introduce each of you to come and do your pitch and deliver your pitch. And I know for some of you, it might be a little bit nerve-wracking. We get it. We understand. But what I want you to do is take that nervous energy, and I want you to be excited about it, because you're not thinking about what it can do for you, but what you can do for your community and for Jamaica at large, okay? So even though you might be nervous, don't worry about it. We're very excited to hear your pitches. So, and without further ado, the moment we've been waiting for, our very first challenger is eBio.
Who remembers the days of worried residents calling, crying because NWC's water reserves has run low again? Hi, my name is Lanika Roden, and I'm the Managing Director of eBio. Our project, Desal H2O, is a desalination plant that utilizes the powers of microalgae to desalinate brackish and seawater. This is a very environmentally friendly business because we don't use any form of fossil fuel, so we're actually limiting and reducing greenhouse gas emission. With water being such a necessary commodity and the rapid urbanization of major cities, it has become more so important for innovations such as ours that utilizes the photosynthetic power of algae to desalinate. Desal H2O presents Jamaica with an opportunity to never see water scarcity again.
Thank you. I am looking forward to this pitch. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for team, well, it's one person, but it's team eBio. Please welcome her.
All right, so good evening, everyone, or is it afternoon still? It's afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Danica Roden, and I'm the Managing Director of eBio. Apologies for my team members who are absent. One fell ill yesterday. So there goes a saying that says, where there is blue, there is riches. So when we look at issues such as drought, these are effects of climate change. So drought, long dry period, saltwater intrusion, lack of freshwater availability. I think the bigger problem is the fact that we are unable to utilize what we have in abundance, and that is seawater. So the process of desalination is not new. However, for it to be a cost-effective, large-scale, energy-efficient, and green process, The answer is desal H2O, which is a desalination plant which utilizes the photosynthetic power of microalgae to desalinate water and make it fresh, clean, usable, drinkable. So who are most affected by the water shortage? Who needs this water? So farmers are largely affected by drought. When you look at the fact that farmers have been losing millions of dollars in revenues because drought, there's no water to water their crops, and if they can't water the crop, what is it they're going to harvest? Industries have been likewise losing millions because NWC has failed to provide them with enough water for them to operate. Households, the same. People have been crying. You see it on the news. I've seen it on the news last year, even the year before. People have been crying about the fact that NWC's water reserves has run low again. Even after the event of a major rainfall, still there's no water. Consumers are largely seeking purified and clean drinking water. So let us look at our business model. So desal H2O will be offering 4 products, one being desal fuel cells, which will be sold to commercial businesses, coastal farmers, and industries. So desal fuel cells are basically portable systems with the microalgae inside of it that can desalinate the water. So the coastal farmers and the commercial businesses, for their own operations, if they just want to do the desalination on their own, they have the liberty to do so. We're selling one for $15,000 Jamaican. So it's very affordable. Box water. So we understand that there's a plastic ban in place and it's phased. Plastic bottles will soon have none, right? So box water is intended to replace bottled water, and these will be sold to consumers and households. We have them in 3 sizes: 8 ounce for $80, 1 liter for $200, 1 gallon for $380. Again, Jamaican dollars. Water truck. So communities on demand, we'll be targeting communities on demand. So we're looking at communities such as Guys Hill in St. Catherine, Campbellstown in Trelawney, communities that are largely affected by water shortage. And it's just $500 per barrel. Usually, so when you're purchasing water from the water truck, it's usually $700 and up for a barrel. So we're very reasonable. Piped water. So we want to supply commercial companies, farmers, and households. So farmers who are located on the inland. So for example, they wouldn't necessarily be purchasing our desal fuel cells. The coastal farmers will most likely be interested in that product because they're located on the coast and they have the advantage of using the water that's right next to them. Inland farmers, however, they won't necessarily have access to that. So piped water, which will be piping or essentially connecting the water from our desalination plant to their farm. And it's just a subscription fee, a monthly fee. So for example, medium-sized commercial companies with employees, about 100 to 200 employees, will be looking at paying a monthly fee of $20,000. Let us look at the strategies that will be used, but that we'll be utilizing to market our business. So for the desal fuel cells, we'll be using email marketing directly to the target commercial businesses and the coastal farmers. Demonstrations, so video demonstrations, putting that out on Instagram, and industry partnerships, social media marketing for the box water, getting celebrity endorsements. I'm hoping Dr. Carol Reed will endorse it one day as well. TV ads, so we know that a lot of people will be watching TV. When you look at other water companies, they usually utilize TV ads, yes, because a lot of people are watching. And of course, for our piped water and truck water, we want to use TV ads, social media, print media, and word of mouth. So our roadmap. So we recently completed the research and product design. That's completed. In November, we intend to do the prototype development of the fuel cell. The first release and marketing of the fuel cell will be in June 2021. So we're taking about 4 months to do that. In September 2021, we intend to acquire an existing facility and retrofit it for the desalination plant. In September 2022, exactly 1 year, we intend to begin operations at the desalination plant. In October 2022, boxed water will hit the market and water trucks will be contracted. Then in December 2022, we will purchase our own water trucks. And in November 2023, the pipeline will start to develop. And in March 2024, factories and farms will be connected on our pipeline system. And in June 2024, we will start connecting households. So if households want to be a part of it, they can show an interest. And October 2024, regional expansion of the fuel cells. So we will start to export our fuel cells to the Caribbean. And in December 2024, regional expansion for our boxed water. So financial projections. So this is just a simple, a basic outline. So for example, the product desal fuel cells, one is for $15,000. The metric that we're using is the number of customers that purchase it. 20 customers will give us a revenue of $300,000. Boxed water, let's just use the 8 ounce, for example, $80 for one of those. That's like a regular size bottle water, by the way. 20,000 customers, and of course, if we will be selling these box waters through different outlets across the island, 20,000 waters is really, 20,000 customers is an easy target for the year. And that will give us a revenue of 1.6 million. And then piped water, $20,000 for the medium-sized commercial business as a monthly fee. 150 subscribers would give us $3 million in revenue. And this shows us our financials over 4 years. As you can see, the revenue steadily increases. And we're seeing a lot of big figures. So comparative advantage, the fact that we use algae to desalinate, very environmentally friendly, no use or production of fossil fuel, and the fact that we are self-efficient in the sense that the fuel cell that we use, the chlorella vulgaris, actually produces electricity, so the pump will be run directly from that, from the fuel cell itself. Competitive analysis, so when we look at existing desalination plants that exist, and there are 12 that exist in Jamaica, they use a machine utilizing distillation or reverse osmosis. These processes are very energy intensive, which means that they are giving off a lot of greenhouse gas emissions, right? And the cost of production is therefore high. We are only using microorganisms. I tell you already, they are generating electricity for us. So that means that we have no greenhouse gas emissions. Our cost of production is significantly low. What will we use the funds to do? So we're getting $2 million if we win this competition. 20% will be used for the prototype development of fuel cell, which is $400,000. Prototype testing for the other 20%. Production of first model, and the remaining 40% will be going into the desalination plant and to test its operation. Exit strategy, we intend to sell 20% of our company to the National Water Commission, especially when it comes on to developing the pipeline.
I believe that means that it's your time. Before we move to the judges, ladies and gentlemen, it's not always easy to go first, to be the first in the room, and I thought that you did a fantastic job to set the tone. Could you just kindly give her a round of applause for really starting this We just want to remind you that you are being timed, so you have to know how to make it through your pitch as efficiently as possible while not leaving out the very pertinent parts. I turn the attention over to the judges for comments or even questions that you may have for our challenger, eBiome.
All right. Ada Roden, I think you did a lovely job. Nice pitch. Very, very brilliant idea in terms of utilizing other harmful materials to make good use of our address challenges that we face now. The question I have, though, in terms of comparing your idea innovation with other renewable approaches, I didn't see that coming out. Is there anything you can tell about how it compares with existing renewable approaches for boosting water production? And what would be your the advantage in terms of utilizing your approach as opposed to theirs?
No, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so what I'm asking is that have you compared your idea in terms of using microalgae for desalination to provide potable water for agricultural purposes with other approaches currently being utilized, renewable approaches?
Yeah.
For example, there are some entities using solar systems to do some purification and so forth. Have you done any comparative analysis? And if yes, what is the advantage of using your approach compared to theirs?
Thank you for that question. So we have looked at existing facilities that actually use solar energy to offset the cost of their production. However, the fact that we utilize the microalgae to desalinate and produce the electricity to power the plant, it makes it very much, our production cost is significantly less than having to install solar panels, etc.
Okay, lovely. And my final question, we all believe in terms of balancing equation, ensuring all life forms can exist harmoniously. When you engage in desalination, what are your strategies to ensure that the marine form is not impacted negatively? As I know that's one of the concerns they have in Bahamas, where they do quite a bit of desalination. If your market gets that big and lots of farmers utilizing most of your systems, how would you ensure that the marine life is somewhat protected to maintain that balance?
All right, so thank you so much for that question. So we have looked at the fact that operating a desalination plant presents some kind of risk. And of course, we don't want to affect our marine organisms. Being a marine biologist myself, I really love my babies under the water. So what it is that we have decided to do is once we see that it is, we will ensure that we are monitoring our operations. Once it is that we detect that there is some kind of change in terms of the ecosystem that we are operating, in terms of the change in the ecosystem, a notable change, then we will slow production in that area. So we'll have the plants at different areas and we'll ensure that we are not affecting the ecosystems through monitoring and doing our evaluation.
Thanks much.
I loved your presentation, loved your energy, and I hope you continue to keep that up as you articulate your idea. I believe that the project will be and can be successful. I just have a quick question as it relates to the income stream. So first of all, let me just congratulate you on ensuring that there are multiple opportunities for income. So where one below, you have somewhere else that you can actually gain some income from. So that's a plus.
Thank you.
But I'm curious, the prototype is not yet ready. So let me know how it is that you priced the cost of the cell. You did say it is cost efficient and that one cell will be 15,000. Help me to understand how much, for example, for a farmer wanting to use those cells for drip irrigation, for argument's sake, how many cells would they require? Those are the two things that were left in my mind.
Okay, so one cell would be if enough for a farmer, whether it's a large scale farmer or a small farmer, one cell will be sufficient. To price the cell, we actually looked at existing models, and when we did our research and come up with the design, we looked at the materials that would, the cost of the materials that would go into building out the entire system. When we looked at our design, we did a very efficient, a very detailed mop-up. So that's how we got the cost, and we know the cost of producing the cell, and that's how we're able to actually price the cell. Yeah.
Can I piggyback on her question? The efficiency of the cells, because if I'm in agro-production and I'm going to be utilizing a system, I live in, say, St. Elizabeth or Westmoreland, and I want to use this to produce water, about how much water will I be able to produce from your 15,000 cell?
That's a very good question. Thank you for that question. So I'm thinking the cell, or I know that the cell can convert 1,000 gallons of water in less than an hour.
Sounds good.
Is that
I hope that's efficient enough for.
Okay, so we'll take a final question from Catherine Chinsey.
So, good evening. My colleagues have asked you about, one, how it is that you arrived at some of these figures. One of the things that were lacking for me was you talk about your income, but you don't talk about your outputs. It's not clear in terms of what will actually take to operate the activity. So that's something that maybe if you don't have those figures now, I would say you need to kind of actually have that to be able to present, because
in terms of expenses,
right? Because the business case isn't complete without you being
am I able to go back to the?
No, it's okay. But what I did realize was missing is who is the team, and what expertise, what do you have? How do I know that you're able to support this activity?
Okay, so the team slide will have actually followed this slide. So we have Dr. Frederick Boyd, who is a researcher at the University of the West Indies. He's actually my supervisor on this project. We've been studying Chlorella vulgaris, which is the microalgae we'll be using for the technology for about a year now. And we have Dr. Stevenson from the Department of Physics, who will be helping us to develop the prototype of the model at the University of the West Indies.
Okay. Do you have members of your team who have a business background or who have...
Yes, we do. So we have Mr. Leighton McKnight, who is the territory lead of PwC. He is, and of course, PwC is an accounting firm, so he would come with that level of expertise.
Okay, I have one more question, and I think it just slipped me. Okay, go ahead. I forgot the question. That's good. Oh, do you have other? So if you win, say you win this competition, you would have gotten an influx of 2 mil, which you've basically divvied up equally across 5 phases in your activities based on what you showed. Do you have other investment?
No, we don't. Not at the moment.
Okay, so okay. And
we do intend to get other investments. We will look out for more opportunities such as these and continue to build.
And the 400, you basically divvy up 400,000 per phase.
Yes.
Is that enough to actually complete each phase?
Yes, it is. So for the development of the prototype, going straight towards the commercialization of the product itself, at that time we'll be able to start earning some kind of income. So we'll be able to put it on top of the 40% that we would have had left from the money spent before. Yeah, we worked it out.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, Lenika Roden and team. Biome, you can leave the mic right there. All right, thank you so very much. We're going to go straight into the next challenger. We have wipes here, so just as a matter of observing protocol, since we all have to, use the same mic, we just ask that each time you come up that you wipe your mic. Number 2, let me just remind you of the time, especially in keeping with the fact that there is a curfew. We want to ensure that everyone gets to his or her home safely and efficiently and early. So each challenger, you have 7 minutes. 7 minutes. You don't have to explain every single slide. If there's a slide you can just show, but explain as you go along, I would definitely recommend that to you. So you have 10 minutes in all. 7 minutes to present and 3 minutes from the questions or comments from our judges. Everyone's ready? All right. Thank you so very much, Linika. You went first and you did a fantastic job. So our very next challenger, we just heard from eBiome. Our very next challenger comes from Pre-Labs.
Everyone, my name is Yakini Wallen Bryan, CEO and founder of Pre-Labs Limited, a technology innovation and product development company. I'm here to talk to you about WaterPre, our most recent innovation that allows homeowners and business owners alike to be able to understand their water consumption from anywhere in the world, be able to identify leaks and faulty appliances, preventing exorbitant water bills, enabling them to shut off water if no one is at home or in the office when people are away, or in case of an emergency, while also being able to understand the level of their water tank from anywhere in the world from their smartphone or their computer. We believe the solution is increasingly important as Jamaica tries to be more climate resilient, as projections have shown we're going to be experiencing more drought. So it's prudent that we find ways to manage our water resources more efficiently and also save on water utility costs, because no one wants to pay a high water bill.
All right, thank you so very much. Put your hands together for Team Pre-Labs.
Good evening, everyone. Test. Good evening, everyone. My name is Yakini. I'm from Pre-Labs. We're a tech innovation company. I'm here to talk about a problem or some words that I feel as though most, if not all of us, can relate to. Water gone again? Now, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, even if you have a water tank, you could have a case where NWC lock off for weeks and you have no idea. And it's a pain, but instead of explaining it myself, I'm going to ask the experts to explain it.
In the region, we have a serious issue with water availability.
Well, with the climate change projections we have seen, especially for the Caribbean, I can say we have a drying trend.
An increased frequency of droughts or drought spells.
So
you can almost see that presently we therefore have a challenge with adequately providing water.
I can see that it has been the same summer drought all the last 4 or 5 years. So more high rises are coming up in the cities, which will cause a pressure on your available underground or surface water resources.
According to global predictions from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and other local researchers suggest that we will have longer periods of drought.
Individuals have a large role to play in terms of water conservation and using their water resource efficiently.
Lack of consistent water supply has forced practically every home and business to have a water tank. Even then, when you don't know how much water is in your tank or how much water you use, coupled with issues like faulty fixtures or high flow appliances, buildings still end up running out of water very often.
It's hard to run any form of business without water. It is hard for the staff. I mean, you really don't realize how important water is until you don't have it.
We've had a few incidents where our tanks have overflowed for various reasons.
Like 3 o'clock every day, we are out of water. So the experts from climate, as well as the customers or prospective customers themselves, can help paint a picture as to how serious this problem actually is. And all of us, I'm sure, can relate to it in some way, shape, or form. To give a bit of context as to how we even started approaching this, so we're Pre-Labs. We're a product development company. We specialize in system design, electronic circuit design, custom software and hardware. We have over combined 10 years of experience in specializing in remote monitoring and control and automation, or Internet of Things. We developed a product called PowerPree. You may or may not know it. It's a device or a system that allows people to monitor and control energy consumption from anywhere in the world. In deploying this, we got a lot of requests from our customers, property managers, Airbnb, saying, why are you not doing the same for water? You know, I had a leak last week and it cost me a lot of money. Or tank keep blocking off. I have no way of knowing what's inside the tank. So, I mean, at first we just heard it over and over again and we thought maybe it's something worth looking into. So we researched technology. These are just some further examples of PowerPree, some sales that we've had, implementations. Even the time I went to speed through this, this is an apartment complex on Dewsbury Avenue that we've retrofitted all the apartments with our technology. WaterPree essentially is now our adaptation to the system that we've already built that allows water resource management. So it's a device that works with that that's installed in line with a pipe or a sensor at the top of a water tank. It lets you see if you have leaks. We can detect the smallest of leaks with what we currently have. It allows you to shut off water from the mains from your app. So if you're going out of town and you want to make sure nobody not using the water, there's no leak that occurs when you're not there, you can shut it off from your smartphone. If an emergency occurs, you can also shut off water. If you're a property manager, it's not on the slide, but if you're a property manager, then you know how tedious it is to keep track of, to bill your tenants or whatever appropriately. Have to go forward. But if you know what I'm talking about. This allows for sub-metering of water, which is a big problem. While JPS might offer some services for sub-metering, NWC doesn't for apartment complexes, etc. Someone has to read that manually. And if you want to keep track of your usage, you can keep track of your usage so that no bill can surprise you again. So you know how much water you've used so far this month, so you know to pace yourself for the end of the month so that no water bill surprises you. On the right side, there's just videos of the actual product demonstration. We have a finished, viable product. The value proposition is that it provides insights, leaks. You can identify leaks in real time as well as see your consumption from anywhere. You can turn off your water, like I've said before. Your automations as well, so you can automatically shut off water if a leak is detected, or you even have to think about it. Forget about this. Okay, so you can generate reports if you're a business. Recognize that smart buildings are the future, and the future is now. And Jamaica has no excuse for not keeping up with the curve. We have solutions for businesses as well as a subscription-based model that provides more data analytics that helps them in financial analysis. So our business model, our value proposition, I'll start with that, is savings, bottom line. Savings, water security, which is particularly important, and peace of mind, knowing that a water bill won't surprise you anymore, and knowing that you won't run out of water. Our customer segments, businesses, medium and large, typically maybe some small, but not primary target. Homeowners, developers, that's housing developers and apartment complex, real estate companies and agents, property managers, Airbnbs and rentals. A lot of these are already our existing customers, so understand their nuances very well. We plan to distribute the product either through distributors, sell it at a markup, or direct sales from us, and we relate to our customers through the website and the phone. Our revenue streams for this specific product would be product sales, subscriptions, warranty payments, as well as if NWC wants to use our data for their billing purposes, for their analysis purposes as well. They want to pick up when there are faults in their system, they can purchase that data as well. Key activities for us would be sales, R&D, tech support, customer resource management as well, that falls on the tech support, marketing. Our key resources are the equipment that we need, our strategic partnerships that help us deliver on our value proposition. Our human resources have the best team in the world. One of my team members just came in. I don't know if you see still Kristan, but brilliant guys. Oh, there he is, hard workers. As well as the IP that we built. You know, we've spent a lot of time on this over the years in terms of building out the systems that we've built. Wow. Our cost structure, again, is just a factor of our key activities. Our partners, our distributors, NWC developers, real estate companies, and production partners. So we already have clients and customers. But we already have interested prospects in Panjam. We're looking at Manor Park, retrofitting Manor Park with this technology, Key Insurance, Shadad, UE Maintenance, as well as reached out to us. And there are over 20 interested homeowners.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Apologies, I was preparing for 10, I cut back to 9, and then we cut back to 7 right before the presentation. So this is, you know, I expected more, and then I was having issues. But there is more that I could speak about. But yeah, that's time considerations, I guess.
Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for pre-labs. Yakini, I can see a lot of persons finding value in this. We're going to turn it over to the judges for questions or comments for pre-labs.
Since you didn't get a chance to share the financials, can you share with us real quick, in the minute from me, is quickly just what you need and what you perceive having over the next 5 years.
Right. So Waterpree is one product. We have other products that we've sold and are selling. We have expenses, of course, that we share for all the different products. What I've broken out is the cost that it takes to make one of these devices and deliver on a sale. That's installation. Made some approximations because not every sale is the same. And the price points, again, not every sale is the same. There are different price points depending on which aspects of the systems you want. If you don't want to be able to control, you can do that by itself. If you just want to be able to monitor your tank at a separate price, approximately $25,000 for a sale. Costs us about $10,000, labor, material, shipping, etc. There's a gross profit margin of about 61%. You can't really see because of the plants. Over time, R&D allows us to drop our costs, which is what we do before. We improve on our product, improve on value proposition. So our costs are going to go, as well as with economies of scale, the cost per unit also goes down. We raise our prices according to inflation. And we anticipate our sales growth to I try to be conservative at times, but even with conservative estimates regarding how many sales we can make a month, confident we can make these sales because this is the type of interaction that we've been having with these customers, and we know how many people we can engage in a certain time frame and how likely they are to make a sale. That's $63 million, $36 million in gross profit in year 2024 for this product.
The price that you have there, the 25,000, is for you to come and at my house, you're gonna come and install the necessary sensors.
So all the costs incurred
approximately
that the customer has to incur, approximately $25,000.
And then I'll pay 5,000 each month as part of my.
So the subscription is only for businesses. If you're a homeowner and you don't really care about data, you pay one flat cost. Businesses who more care about data, that requires more surface space, so they'll pay to compensate that cost.
Okay, so I have one comment. Could you come over tomorrow and install them?
I mean, part of the reason we haven't even launched this as yet is because we're still a relatively new company, and to justify buying new merchandise, we have to be sure that they're going to sell. Otherwise, we're just going to have inventory on hold, so we can't move. So, but yes, I'll take your contact tomorrow. Maybe not, but 3 weeks, yes, for sure. And they actually have one here, for demonstration. I can give that one to you, maybe. Yes.
A quick one though, Yakini. Congratulations, a brilliant idea. I think it's a device that all of us in this room would use right away. I would mind if I could buy one from you right away as well, because we need to know what you're really utilizing. And I use tanks. I know how far my tanks are instead of going there and knocking every single day. The question I have, though, Yakini, and you just mentioned in terms of the point mentioned by our previous judge, scalability, or is it to scale and to produce those units as well as your customer support?
So as far as scaling is concerned, we have partners that help us produce. So when the units are small, like within 100 per month, we can do that in-house. But we have partners both local and overseas who can help us with the assembly and manufacturing, so we can outsource a bit of that labor. Eventually, when we get to a big enough company, we can have manufacturing in-house, but we don't have to. So that's regarding sales volumes. Customer support, that's something we need to do as well. As sales increase, the number of customers increase, the amount of tech support you need to have increase, and your CRM costs increase, administrative costs increase. All those costs are factored with the price point that we chose for the product, so that we can cover the necessary labor that we need to manage those customers as they increase.
All right.
So I hope I answered the question.
Thank you so very much. Thank you, Pre-Labs. Thank you, Yakini. Job well done. Thank you to the judges. The stage has been set. This $2 million look like it's not going to be easy to win at all. So we heard from eBiome, we just heard from Pre-Labs, and again, as you can see, the challenges are looking at the pain points. They're looking at pain points of customers and clients and trying to find that solution in an eco-friendly manner. So now we move to our third challenger. Put your hands together as we welcome Artel. It's her intro video. We're just waiting on our intro video.
Hi, my name is Tracy Ann Hyman and I'm the CEO of Artel, where we find solutions using artificial intelligence. Now, the Caribbean region is among one of the most riskiest places to live, and flooding from hurricanes is our most common hazard here, with over 5,000 deaths and 109 billion in damages. At Artel, we have come up with a flood planning and impact tool to address this. We want to reduce the damages from flooding and also save more lives. And so our green ICT tool is known for its energy efficiency because you don't need a whole heap of computers and servers to run this tool. You just need one desktop and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And so Jamaica needs this tool to meet its Vision 2030 goal. Number 4, Jamaica has a healthy environment, and so that we can experience hazard, risk reduction, and adaptation to climate change. Thank you.
All right, please welcome Artel.
Good afternoon. My name is Tracy Ann Hyman, and I'm the CEO of Artel. Now, ever so often, as we have experienced extended rainfall periods, these are some of the images that we see on our TV screens, on the internet flooded areas, landslides, downlines and trees, even the interruption of our sacred ceremonies as this funeral procession is crossing the road. We're even seeing more sightings of crocodiles. Is this slowly becoming our new normal? Well, climate change science tells us for the Caribbean region that we're going to experience an increase in frequency and intensity of tropical cyclones, which means more floods. Already, we have experienced from flooding over 5,000 deaths and over 800 billion in damages since 1983 in the Caribbean region. Now, one of the reasons that we found for this level of damage and destruction from Artel, from our research, is the approach of building first and checking later as it relates to planning and disaster management by our developers, by disaster planners. Many of them are using outdated maps or not looking at the community data in terms of the flood impacts at each community level. Importantly, you know, we have this issue of the drains, building and not even considering drains, creating all of this overwhelming water. Importantly, is the approach by the developers and also the disaster planners in terms of risk assessments, the view to look on the impacts to people separately from the impacts to infrastructure and the flood by itself, as opposed to looking on all 3 components in the risk assessment. And let me tell you, this is currently not the practice in the marketplace at this moment. Well, our big canvas idea at Artel is to provide a flood planning and impact tool that is integrated. So you have your people, your flood, and your infrastructure in one analysis. It's scenario-based. So you can look on flooding in the morning, at midnight, persons inside the community, outside the community, and important, the resource indicators, the number of evacuation shelters, your search and rescue team, the number of equipment that you will need. All of this wrapped around in an artificial intelligence framework that allows the user to make smarter and faster decisions at the click of a mouse. With the end game, what do you think the end game is? We want to be able to determine the number of potential casualties and affected people before the disaster strikes. And we want to determine the damage to critical infrastructure, your buildings and your roads before disaster strikes. And so it also assists with the shortfall, looking on your existing resources, what do you have versus what you really need. This is what our tool can do. So using the business model canvas, our customer segments include our developers and our construction persons, disaster planners, and our insurance company. And our value proposition is to provide modern-day artificial intelligence solution to allow them to make more accurate decisions as it relates to building and planning so that we can preserve lives and safeguard property from floods. This tool can reduce the lives lost by 40% and damage to critical infrastructure by 20%. And so our marketing channels include personal visits, yes, face-to-face, expert meetings, scientific conferences, going to judging industry meetings, and also bidding on global funded projects by multilateral agencies. Already we have been asked to use this tool in Dominica, and this will be funded by the IDRC in Canada. Yes. So our key activities involve data collection, a lot of field work in terms of mapping and running our scenarios on the computer, with our target market firstly focusing on the construction and the engineering sectors at a value of 120 million. And it's Jamaica and the Caribbean. Then our disaster planners, the value of the market is 30 million right now, but the disaster emergency management market is expected to grow all the way to 126 billion by 2023, that's US billion. And the life and general insurance sector at 544 million. Now, if we target 1% of each of these segments, we're talking about revenues of 8.1 billion per annum. So our business model, our revenue model is to provide this flood planning and impact tool that is web-based at a base price of $15,000 per community, per flood zone to developers, builders, disaster planners, and insurance companies. And more about our pricing can be found in your packages in front of you there. So in terms of our projections, you know, like a startup, year 1 and 2, we actually will experience a loss. And that is going to carry us all the way up to revenues of 20 to 30 million by year 4 and 5. So we're actually starting to make a profit by year 4 and 5. And the ultimate aim is to at least get our costs down to at least 35% of revenue. In the initial stages, it was at the year 1 and 2, 70 to 80% of revenue. By year 4 and 5, we want it down to 35% of revenue. So what is our competitive advantage? There are many, but I want to highlight these. Integrated assessments, people, land, and flood in one assessment. Casualties by time of day of week. And we want to stress also for the developers that they will be able to build smarter and focus better on in terms of cost savings and prevention. So our team of erudite environmental professionals have over 70 years in the field, disaster management, economics and finance. Ryan, marketing and communication, he's here with me. Our computer engineer, IT guru responsible for this, and Andrew Nurse, our land surveyor. Already, we have tested the tool in 3 Jamaican communities, and we've been asked to test it in Dominica, Nigeria, and the Bahamas. And we're asking for an investment of $60,000 for 15% in equity. That's going to help us to acquire our first 4 customers. But I want Ryan to go ahead and give a demonstration because of the time in terms of how this flood planning and impact tool will work. We have our first prototype ready. And even though this is going on, this is actually happening on the back end. What you're actually going to be seeing is what the user, what Ryan is going to be showing you, is what the user is actually going to face.
That is time. That is time. That is time. Put your hands together for Artel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so sorry, I see Ryan over there. Job well done. This is definitely trying to get us to be more proactive as opposed to reactive, which a lot of us see in the Caribbean. That's exactly what we tend to do. So I'm going to throw it over to the judges. 3 minutes for the judges to ask the questions or make the necessary comments.
Well, I will take this opportunity because I missed the last one. But wonderful presentation, and I know this product, this service could not have come at a better time. I want to caution you though, your target may be slightly off. You said insurance, that is a go, but I want you to not look so much at the developers, because remember, developers are really just profit-centered. But looking at government and how you're going to regulate to get it in the framework, and I want you to also look at international funders, because I think that's where the potential is for the monies, all right?
I mentioned that one of going RC. And also, I mentioned Nigeria. So, are you hearing me? So, Mhm. Great idea.
Where do you, the AI that you're using in the back end, where is it getting that data for the modeling?
We had to you hearing me? We had to you hearing?
I can hear you.
We're also using shape files for through our ArcGIS. We had to also go and collect the road data in terms of transportation on the roads. For example, because if you would observe the actual bus and cars were moving, we actually took the buses and the taxis to get the actual times that it would take you to travel, because we want to get an actual feel of regular living and what it would be if, for example, the flooding was to take place and you didn't care, business as usual. Or if you got, as Ryan will show you, a 1 hour warning, 2 hour warning, where would you end up if you had to go to the nearest shelter? So that was what we need to put together the product. But yes, the information is a shape files, the field service data, and we had to also go to static to get some of the information as well.
And do you, in your operational costs, do you have that as an activity where you know you're going to have to continually get more data to train AI?
Yes, so I think item number 2 is data costs. Okay. Yeah, definitely, that's key for us.
I love your product idea. My question though is for the maps. You mentioned the errors in existing maps. Do you create your own maps from start, or do you rely on existing maps?
Thank you for that question. So that's why we went out in the field. So we took the regular maps that we had before, go out in the field and realize some houses have been put there. Some of the forested areas have been cleared. So we had to go and use the GPS machine to get the points for the actual home, what is actually there, and note those points. So that is why we're able to bring this so thorough. So what you're seeing on the screen is actual buildings, roads, the actual buildings that we actually walked through and went through on that screen.
All right, thank you so very much, Artel. Very well done. Very eloquently done, I think. She got to her points. Ryan, we're so sorry we didn't get a chance to see you do your thing. You know, I love your high top. You know, you look really cool with your bow tie and everything. But hopefully we'll be able to see that afterwards. Thank you so very much, Artel. So Artel says goodbye, and we welcome Gianosi.
Hi, I'm Alexia, and I'm a geologist and the founder of Gianosi Strategies. Our business is focused on 1, the sustainable use of our water resources by harvesting rainwater, and 2, reducing our carbon footprint by harnessing solar energy to treat the water as well as to power the system.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Alexia representing Gianosi.
Good evening, everybody. So I represent Gianosi, and it's, hearing me now? Gianosi Strategies. So it's a group of 3 of us, a geologist, a hydrologist, and a civil engineer. Now, have you heard the story of the 7 fat cows and the 7 skinny ones? You know, a pharaoh had a dream and somebody had to interpret it for him. And the interpretation was that you need to store when the resource is available in order to prepare for times when it's not available. During dry periods in Jamaica, at least 75% of homeowners experience water shortages. The water lockoffs are usually in urban areas, and it is a great strain on everybody. It costs money to truck the water, it inconveniences everybody, and it's really just a pain. I don't think I'm clicking through. Okay. No, I missed something. Click on up working, guys. This was the second one. Okay, so sorry about that. So our system is called Sky Juice, and it's a solar-powered rainwater harvesting system. So we're alleviating the financial pain of having to truck water, the high utility costs of your energy, and supporting the unreliable municipal supply. And what we want to provide is a system that a developer can value add. So he adds it to his development and the end consumer benefits from it. And it's differentiated from other systems because it's automated and it's a cohesive system. So you're not only are collecting rainwater, you're purifying it, and you're also producing energy to power your appliances. Am I not clicking it properly? Okay. So our strategy is that Our strategy is that we are approaching contractors and developers in order to sell our system because they're the ones that can afford it. The system is by itself expensive, but if a developer adds it to his construction when he's doing the system, the cost to a end user, the cost to a homeowner buying a mortgage is an additional maybe $5,000 on a mortgage. Whereas to get the system installed after you've bought your house is maybe a $30,000 per month investment, which most people don't have. So we've used evaluation strategies by, there was a survey commissioned by Jamaica National, and that survey indicated that everybody is interested in rainwater harvesting, all of the respondents, whether developers or homeowners, right? But not many of them can afford the $20,000. So our business model is based on rainfall. 1 inch of rain that falls on just a 2,000 square foot house can collect 1,250 gallons of water. The average use that's calculated across Jamaica is that each person uses about 50 gallons a day of water. So our timelines. So we've split it into 4 years, basically. Our system is new. It's just an idea and the survey stage right now. So in year 1, we hope to get some grant funding, develop a prototype. Year 2, we'd like to partner with some funding agencies and roll out a demo on a commercial and a residential unit. And by year 3, we hope we'd have targeted a small development, a small residential complex. And then by year 4, we're hoping that, we're marketing and everything. We'll be able to gather a small complex, medium residential one, and a commercial one. So our financial projections, basically we estimate that by year 4, we would have made $2 million in profit with a revenue of over $13 million. Maybe I'm not clicking it properly. Okay, so our startup cost. So we're pitching for the entire $2 million first prize this evening because we want the whole thing. And basically, our prototype is 40% of that cost, and then the other costs are split equally, almost equally, in terms of developing a website, marketing, having a location to store the equipment, the labor, the transport, some insurance, and salaries to pay to everybody. So our advantage is that our solution is geared towards the Kingston metropolitan area, especially because the competitors are mainly rural and they're mainly focused on agricultural solutions. And a complete system is more value added for a customer because nobody wants to go to the butcher, the market, the wholesale to get groceries. Everybody wants to go to the supermarket, pick up their groceries, and go home. So it's the same thing with us. You buy a house, it comes with energy, and it comes with rainwater harvesting included. So the current, as I said earlier, the current market served is rural areas. So we are targeting, urban areas, urban sprawl. We're targeting customers who are piped already. And our team, basically, we have a bit of experience. We're young, but I mean, we're working on it. We've been in the field a total of 20 years in the industry. We have this great idea, and the idea is going to make money because developers like to sell expensive houses. Even though they're selling expensive houses, the on-cost to the end consumer is not great, and they'll still make back that money because they'll be saving in energy costs and even sometimes in water usage costs. And that's us.
Thank you so very much, Gianosi. I really did not put much thought into rain harvesting, harvesting all of that water that we lose. Thank you so very much for that. We're going to throw this over to the judges for questions and comments.
Alexia, can you describe for me again? So the system is an all-in-one system. It collects it, but it starts with the water coming through, going through the necessary filters. How do we get to the electricity generation part?
Okay, so the normal rainwater harvesting systems, all they do is collect the water from your roof and put it in a tank, and then you use it for gardening, stuff that you don't need to, it doesn't need to be potable. Whereas our system is using solar energy to power a UV filter that's purifying the water. But the solar panels are also connected to your house so that it can power your appliances as well, because it will come with the batteries and the various fixtures to make that happen.
Just a quick one, the price point in terms of introducing the product to the market, what price point are you looking at? What are you going to be pitching to the investors? Is it a $1 million, $5 million, $4 million system, or is it based on the number of units?
Okay, so the pricing is based on the size of the roof, because most of the components have a standard cost. The filters are standard cost, the panels right now are at a standard cost. So the main variability in cost is the size of the roof, and the industry cost now is $240 per foot to gutter a house. So you're looking at, I don't know, about $36,000 for a 1,500 square foot roof, and then the size of your roof determines how much rainfall you can capture. So the example I gave earlier was that if 1 inch of rainfall is we get 1 inch of rainfall on a particular event, you would get 1,250 gallons of water for storage, and one person uses less than 50 gallons per day. So you can imagine that that's more than enough water for your needs to wash, shower 5 times if you want, etc.
Just to encourage you and your team, I think it's a great idea. I know, again, coming from the previous presenter, that you're looking at developers and how easy it will be for homeowners at the point of purchase. But I also want you to be thinking about scalability, and there is an opportunity for existing households to get a product like this. So probably thinking about how you make it more cost efficient for existing homeowners.
Yes.
It is something that I'd want to
Yes,
encourage
that's
you
definitely something we've looked at, because a part of the survey that JN did is that people who are willing to take loans for water saving would take about $100,000 loans. So our system would be scaled to that, to benefit those individual customers then.
Judges, that's it? All right, thank you so very much, Alexia. Thank you, Gianosi. Thank you so very much for that. I'm now wondering if I can take up some basins and get some water off my roof, but it probably won't be as efficient as your system for sure. Learning so much, and we thank all the challengers for putting all their time and effort and resources into their pitches. We really appreciate your level of professionalism. So we say welcome to Integrated Recyclers Limited. Let's have a look.
Greetings, I'm David Morrison, CEO of Aquagram Efforts, where we transform the invasive species sargassum into animal feed. This is of particular importance, as sargassum, if left on the beaches to rot, produces a very dangerous greenhouse gas, methane. Our product and our business is particularly important for Jamaican economy, as sargassum, when never brought in on the beaches, impacts greatly our tourism product and our ecology. Thank you.
All right, I can't wait to hear about this. This is definitely a big issue for us. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Integrated Recyclers Limited.
Greetings, everyone.
Hello.
I represent Organic Inputs, a brand of Integral Recyclers Limited. I'm David Morris. I'm the CEO and visionary behind this. We're in Old Harbor, and our product line, our telephone numbers are there as listed.
Okay.
All right. So it says, a picture says 1,000 words. And in this picture, we see where there was a problem. But the problem was a trifecta, where yearly, sargassum since 2013 has been washing up in our Caribbean oceans, affecting 19 countries, costing over $6 billion worth of earnings, this by the CTO. There was also the problem of the costing $120 million to remove it. We figured, why not use this as a resource to produce animal feed? Feed for animals, which yearly Jamaica imported over $15 million worth of goat meat. And who here doesn't love goat? It's like our national meat. So, so importing over $50 million worth of goat. So we figured use this opportunity to increase our herd size and cutting down on our import bill. So our business model is really to produce this feed, sell it in as an organic option to goat farmers directly or to co-ops or farming association for a price point of 700 Jamaican dollars per 25 kg bag. Now that bag is comparable to the current crocus bag as we know it. That bag will be sold to the goat farming industry, which we value at 148 million US dollars, expanding to a wider CARICOM market, livestock market, and so forth. We see that this segment is only 6% of the national market, and compared to the CARICOM market, it's within 1%. We expect that customers will want to buy our product, as our product is for the price point of one of the competition. You can buy two of ours and still save 10%. It also, being organic in nature, appeals to the consumer who wishes to say that they are more health conscious, buying more organic meat and so forth. And because of it, farmers who cannot readily afford the bag feed now will not have to have huge grazing areas to raise their animals. And it is being encouraged that they actually have raised bed flooring, so it's a non-grazing method. All right. So since 2019, we have been on the ground doing our research. I particularly have been a member of the Farming Association for 3 years, tuning into the issues, testing it, giving it to farmers, and validating it. I'm proud to say that all of those blocks I lifted myself, and we built that. We made a crane out of a truck, being innovative and all, but COVID happened, and we got stuck. But we're now delighted to know that Jane is coming in to give us new hope to take this from 30%, which we are at now, and go further. Beyond that, we were supposed to be participating in an 18-month clinical trial to validate. So when we go to somebody, we say, hey, if you take this, your animals will increase by this amount of lean weight compared to it. One thing with organic feeds as well is that it increases the lean weight ratio of the animal. So it's less fat. Even if you like pork, goats, or whatever, you don't like the fat. So we are here to alleviate that. We have developed our in-house machinery, as I told you, we made a crane and other equipment. And our research has been validated by research done through UWI, Dr. Webb in particular, who found that sargassum is a great source of mineral content which goats need, where we will notice that our local goats will be eating grass, however, they are not as fat because there still needs to be added salts and other minerals which they cannot get from just grazing. Our financials are projected to 2025, where we hope to be earning just above $1 million in terms of feed. We'll target this by targeting the goat market, which has 2,200 registered farmers capturing 12% of that market share, having 264 customers. These are repeat customers, which we expect to take 3 items from us per day. We had consultations with major growers. We're in the goat belt of Clarendon and St. Catherine, where particular farmers wanted a drop off like 100 bags at a time and so forth. But as I said, COVID didn't make that happen. So our competitive advantage I've mentioned earlier is that we really are cheaper. The price point is a very important factor. Not only that, but we're organic based and all our resources are locally sourced. Means that we are resistant to global impacts and so forth. On the other side, where we are comparable to the other market persons, they are 100% imports. Corn, grain, soy, and all that. Yep, they are 100% imports. They are heavily affected by market shocks, and being an import, so is oil prices affecting it. If God so wills it that we are one of those that benefit from the financial gain, it will immediately be used in continuing our progress of our factory build out, and then the rest of it in marketing and continued research, because it says that which does not evolve die. We do not evolve intend to die, but rise like the phoenix. Our team, I am proud to say that I'm a member of a great team of guys. I myself was a trained electrical engineer with certifications in project management. My brother is the research and development lead. He has a master's in food chemistry and a Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry. Jerome Stewart is our machinist, mechanical engineer, and holder of a Red Seal, Canadian Red Seal things. Mr. Humphrey Francis is a man with many accolades in finance and auditing. Price Waterhouse, former employee, he worked as an auditor for Carib Cement and so forth. And Mr. Devon Sears is a former executive of the Small Ruminants Association. He has an MBA in finance, and he's our lead, linking us with the farming groups and as a registered farmer. He himself is actually a national winner of national goat farm winner, and he was one of our pilots. And after trying our product, he came on board as a marketing lead, and that is Organic Inputs.
All right, thank you so very much. I'm going to pass it over to the judges for questions and comments.
A quick one, Dorian. How would you pitch the idea of the nutrition? Because there's a difference between organic and inorganic foods. People and persons are thinking about profitability based on the mass of the meat being produced and the return in terms of investment based on price point. How will you pitch the nutrient profile of your solely organic product versus the products that exist in the market we know have been formulated primarily for Boers and Nubians, the larger breeds?
All right, well, Boers and Nubians in one, but one of the larger herd sizes is actually natives, which are being blended with others. The natives really are already adapted to being herd grazers. So the majority of the market right now, being native, this is like a supplement to them in a pellet. Then we have we have the Boers and so forth, which it is said from my time in the association that you do not introduce a new feed to goats in rush. You take your time and trickle feed. So in this method, we'll be a trickle feeder reaching up to what it's supposed to be. But sargassum has majority of the mineral contents which grass itself would not have. And plus we use the Hypro Feeds mineral mix in it, which also balances out those mineral contents.
Okay, so you can get to your client base then?
Yes.
And convince them. All
right.
Well, since the doctor was on the question of the science behind it, I too am going to just clarify in my mind the science behind the nutrition of the product. I heard you say something about Yui, and that Devon would have been one of your first clients.
Pilot customers, yeah.
Over what period would this trial experiment have?
Well, the good thing with goats, they are like toddlers. If they don't like it, they are not going to eat it. And if they eat it, it means that it's good for their system. So we have had where he called and told me that, hey, we brought it up the first time when we gave it to them. They're like, yo, wherever you are bring it back in the car, they might eat it up. So from there on, we just went ahead. With the science part of it, though, Dr. Webb, they have been doing I'm not sure how long, but it was a concerted research effort to figure out the nutritional profile of sargassum.
So right now we have an influx, and for a few years Jamaica has been experiencing a
Since
problem
2013.
with the seaweed on the. Suppose something changes in the climate, and then we don't have that large influx.
A wise man said to me, he said, "He who watches the weather will never move." We are here seeing a problem now. We're hoping to have a longevity of a business, but we cannot say, what if this is not here in 2 years? We'll pivot, we'll do something, because we understand what the market needs. There are a lot of other organic inputs which are local, which there's a problem which we have discovered to get rid of. So our thing is, if it's not majority sargassum alone, it is locally sourced organic inputs, which we will put in a safe way for feed.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Morrison. To you and your team, thank you for presenting. I know for a lot of us, we've experienced sargassum. We've seen what it has done to the beaches, and for many of us, we've left because of the presence of the sargassum. So thank you so very much for that. So we have only a few more. In fact, we only have 3 more challengers to go. Great pitches so far. A lot of pain points that you are addressing. At this time, we welcome, and I hope I do not butcher the name. Is it Ceres? Ceres. Okay, so put your hands together for Ceres Labs. We're just waiting for the intro video. They just want you to wait a little, they just want to pressure you a little, but you look like the man for the job, it's fine. We're just looking for 1 minute. And if we're not able to, we're just going to go right ahead with the pitch. All right, come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our next challenger from Ceres Labs, CERES, Nkrumah Fong. All right, very nice to meet you, sir. All the best. You're still cueing the video, or? No, we'll just go straight to his pitch. Please. All right, thank you. Let's see if we can start your pitch.
Just relax.
Hold on 1 second. All right, give us 1 second as we check to ensure that there's no further technical difficulty with him.
Consolidated Environment Research Laboratory. COVID-19 is not only the nuisance in 2020. Vehicular tailpipe emissions is also emission nuisance in 2020. Vehicular tailpipe emissions are related to autism and respiratory infections worldwide. And it is a leading part of climate change globally. The device which we are seeing landfalling for significantly reduces these effects.
Thank you so very
All
much.
right.
I think the reason why we're cutting it prematurely is because we can't actually hear him. It is inaudible. Therefore, it won't help the audience or the judges. But we do apologize for the technical difficulty, and we wish you all the best.
Good evening again, guys. I hope the absence of that video doesn't deter anybody from hearing what I have to say. So COVID-19 is not the only ear nuisance in 2020, nor it has been for any year, really. I'm Nkrumah Fong, and I'm the founder of the startup company Consolidated Environment Research Laboratory, or Ceres Labs. So what is the problem that we have identified? Carbon dioxide, emissions from tailpipes, exhaust that is clogging up the engine, preventing it from work efficiently. These are the problems to which we are trying to solve. They are big problems, so we need big solutions. Ceres Labs has come up with a unique invention. The idea is you stop the emissions at the source. So the concept I came up with is, what if you have a device, a very simple device, lightweight, easily manufactured here in Jamaica using materials sourced here in Jamaica. Basically, the device contains the exhaust that's coming out of the tailpipe, reducing 50 to 95% of the carbon dioxide that wants to come out. But what is the benefit to the customer, the driver himself? Well, we actually stumbled upon this benefit. Believe it or not, the soot that's actually coming out of the vehicle, no, it's okay. The soot that's coming out of the vehicle actually is causing the clog. And the idea is, if you can force the soot to come out, the engine will perform better. So during the research, I stumbled upon this point that if we can tug on the exhaust, just tug it a little, the engine will actually love this action. So the device tugs on the exhaust, pulls it, forcing it to come out. By allowing the exhaust to travel through a filter, and the filter is biodegradable, made from algae fiber that can be manufactured here in Jamaica. By allowing the exhaust to travel through that fiber, allowing the exhaust to come into different chambers that reacts with the gases, we believe that we can trap a significant portion of the soot and the particulates and the carbon dioxide among a variety of other gases, forcing reduction. Now that we have identified the problem, how can we monetize this? And what are the benefits to the customer really? What is our value proposition? So the invention, as I said, reduces 50 to 90% of the carbon dioxide that's in the exhaust. It saves around 30 to 40% of the fuel per gallon of the fuel burnt. Why? Because this soot is actual fuel. It's fuel that is not burnt. So by tugging on the fuel, pulling it out, the new exhaust that's trying to come out actually have more breathing air, so it burns. So you don't waste your gas money. You save it. So for every gallon or every liter of fuel you purchase, you get more out of it. Savings to the customer. The device replaces or competes significantly with particulate filters and catalytic converters. Being an add-on, you don't need to service the one that you already have. Most persons ignore it anyway, so you can just sit there and just don't do anything, while our add-on continues to filter it. So that's our added value. The other added value we envision is basically a social benefit, social welfare of Jamaicans and pretty much any society really. By reducing these particulates, you're actually reducing particles that may cause autism and respiratory illnesses in the population. So quickly, I have envisioned this concept a long time ago, but pretty much in 2006 when I was in high school, I heard a teacher talking about greenhouse gases. That time, climate change wasn't really the talk of the town. It was global warming, and yeah, we need to save the planet. So fast forward 15 years later, it is still a problem. No one has really solved the problem. Am I doing it wrong? All right, so the idea is we put a lot of effort into prototyping. I've already come up with a prototype. It's a minimum viable product, but it's at the mock level. The idea is we do a lot of social media blasting. We build the marketing platform for years 1 and 2, and we basically make this go viral. The product is actually patented. There's a design patent for this. I'm clicking everything. All right, so pretty much it's the building this business will go through 3 basic challenges: product development, marketing, and then we basically can just pre-sell it to people. Let them buy it online, let them see it in person, see how it works, and then we'll just milk the marketing out of it and get persons to buy it. The end goal of this really is to prove that we can manufacture it locally or license it out globally. Pretty much get every country to manufacture it. We don't want to be the only ones manufacturing it. There are bigger guys that can do it, and they pay us for it. So pretty much, it's a pilot that I'm presenting that I'm actually starting in January, and the goal is to use 2 years to develop the R&D infrastructure behind it, continue on work that I've already done, and around by year 3, year 4, we start seeing some revenue from pre-sales. The use of the funds pretty much in year 1, it varies from year 1 to year 2, but pretty much leases, utilities, prototype development, marketing, patenting will be big components of the first 2 years going into years 3 and 4.
That's time. Thank you so very much. Put your hands together for Series Labs. I saw him trying to make it through, very animated. We can see that this is definitely a passion project of yours. I'm going to hand it over to the judges for questions and comments.
So that is a 3D model that you've just done, but it's not something that's functional now. What material have you built it out of?
Use your mic.
Oh, sorry. So this material is built from PVC, hard PVC, and within the entire potential manufacturing of this will be a sustainable model where we use things like algae to make the filter, a sustainable manufacturing of the raw material that will actively be involved in the reaction of the gas itself can be made here, and even the chambers. The actual material that make up the chambers and the other materials in it can be made from reusable plastics.
How do you plan to manage the heat factor on PVC?
Yes, that component I have actually proven that this model I can reduce using air that is flowing under the vehicle. Mm-hmm. This model actually has some buffers on it that channels air into the device, which cools it down quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on it right now.
How will you convince a muffler specialist to replace the catalytic converter with your device? So the catalytic converter is already built into the muffler system for the vehicle.
That's a great question. This is an add-on. This actually doesn't really care about catalytic converters that's in the vehicle. It sits there and this adds to the tailpipe of the vehicle. So getting rid of the converter is not our problem. That's the customer's problem. If they want to remove it, it doesn't matter to this prototype. It will be filtered.
Okay.
And Kuma, let me just give you a plus for IP, intellectual property, and you going about getting it patented. A lot of startup entrepreneurs make that big mistake not to get their ideas properly registered. But what I'm not clear about is your target. I don't think that's clear enough for me based on what you shared, and a specific income stream. If it's there, it's good, but I didn't hear it. And if it is not there, I want you to be thinking about that, okay?
Yeah. Well, yes, there on one of the slides that basically broke down the different customers we are targeting. We have a featured market for fleet managers who are actually interested in this, including JTC. They are very much interested in this. Online audience of environment enthusiasts. They actually have indicated to us through surveys that I have done and through other competitions that I've been involved with that this idea is great. 70% of respondents say that this idea is a great idea and they would use the technology if it's available, even if the cost is high for you personally.
And finally, thank you for clarifying that. You spoke about the suit.
Yeah.
Do you have plans to create a byproduct from that, or that's just going to be waste and that's it?
Well, all right, the whole point is to capture the soot in a biodegradable filter. As to what we plan to do with the soot itself once captured, I think that we can reuse the filters by processing it, and then the soot itself become entrapped and entangled in the fibers of the algae. But beyond that, I'm not seeing where I need to use it.
All right, thank you so very much. That is time. And you said your name is Nkrumah? Nkrumah. Nkrumah, thank you so very much. Let me tell you something. I was on the side saying, Nkrumah, use your mic. Use your mic. But his voice is so powerful that he actually did not need it. Thank you so very much for your passion. Thank you for your animation and certainly how you delivered. And I certainly wish you all the best. And again, just to echo what one of the judges said, and it's important for anyone who's been watching on the JN Foundation Foundation's page. A lot of the time we have our business idea, we have our business model, but we do not trademark, we do not copyright, and we do not patent. And so to hear somebody come up and say, hey, I have a prototype, but it's also patented, that's definitely the step that we need for our entrepreneurs. And that's a great example right there. And Jane, thank you again for Jane Foundation for giving us this platform to see such superstars. So 6 down, 2 more to go. We welcome solar powered water ATMs.
Good day. My name is Crystal Hall. I'm a civil engineer and I do consultant work. I am currently talking about solar-powered water ATMs. These are units that provide point source adaptation for areas that may not be well served with pipeworks due to lack of infrastructure and or degradation of infrastructure. The need is for access by all, and that's what solar-powered water ATMs provide.
All right, put your hands together for Crystal Hall representing solar-powered water ATMs. Your time starts now.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so loosen up a little bit. A few minutes of your time, please. We're going to discuss solar-powered water ATMs. My name is Crystal Hall, and first I would just like to thank JN Foundation, along with the Water Project and the CCIC for this boot camp. It has been rigorous, but necessary. So let's get started. First, water scarcity. What is it? It is a lack of freshwater resources in an amount that meets the need or demand of a group or individual. So here in Jamaica, approximately 800,000, that's 1/3 of the population, 800,000 people do not have regular access to piped water. And 60% of the water delivery infrastructure is old. It needs to be repaired and or replaced. And remember, The water delivery infrastructure is in the ground. It may actually be under your house. It may be under your business. So, what do we do about this problem? We need a solution. Sorry. And here it is. This is a solar-powered water ATM. What we deliver out of the ATM is water. As you can see, there is a collection mechanism, and you may use any vessel as small as a personal cup, even a buckle, and large as about a 5-gallon jug. So, you see a solar panel there, and these ATMs will be placed throughout the community such that access can be given to those who do not have access to regular piped water. Why? Why do we need these? Because we use water every day, multiple times a day. Water is essential. Water is life. Again, we said 800,000 people do not have regular access to piped water in Jamaica. That's approximately 1/3 of the country. So what do? We have to assess the need. Who needs water? We must answer that question. We have to find out where these areas are. We'll survey the community, create a buzz, ensure that this is the right answer to the problem. Then we build a full-scale prototype. Under initial build, we evaluate the prototype and we continue the program with what you see here, solar-powered water ATM. How does the business model work? Well, we have demand-specific design. Some areas have constraints different from others. So we will have to identify how many different types of ATMs must be designed. Then we build. The infrastructure is built and it is operated by members of the community. So there will be community employee for each and every water ATM. How do we access the water? Pay-per-use with a card mechanism. Why a card? Why shouldn't I just be able to put in my money? Because we want to monitor the demand. How much water is necessary in this area? How much water is each household using? These are metrics that we should be able to follow. After we maintain the systems, we expand. There are other add-on services that can be utilized within the footprint of the ATM, which may include recycling. It may include some other things to be determined down the line. So the big picture. Today is conceptual. We're at the beginning of things, and we need information. We need cooperation, and in that, funding as well. Within 6 months, the feasibility should be assessed. We should have evaluated the market, the costs, and established the approved designs for the structures and some feasible locations. That's 6 months' time. Within 1 year, in 12 months, we would like to have a monetized ATM structure or structures, and we'll have created a plan for proposed expansion. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, what you're looking at is data from 2013. These numbers do need to be finessed a bit. However, we're looking at a system of 4 ATMs that serve 150 families collectively. So our monthly consumption is based on a daily usage of 20 liters per day. And we look at the ATM level. We have the initial cost of a 4 ATM system as $1.9 million and an equipment lifetime of 10 years. Looking at the revenues and costs annually, you'll see that you have an annual profit of around $550,000. In looking at the break-even, that's 30 to 45 months to collect back the capital expense. So for a 10-year system, you'll collect back the capital that you had to invest within somewhere from 2.5 to 4 years. So with a 10-year system, we will go ahead and have maybe 5 years or more of profit. We see our competitors here. We have advantages in cost, in volume, in infrastructure and location. How do we make this vision a reality? We need to liaise with stakeholders, the NWC, other utility companies, and we need to perhaps engage with sponsors. Once more, I'm Crystal Hall. I'm a civil engineer with construction and geotechnical experience as well as hydraulics. I have a lot of experience, 15 years worth, and I've been liaising with these entities in the past. My partner did not have enough time to commit fully. And so perhaps if this is green lighted, one of you all would be willing to join. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. The water ATMs that would provide purified water for drinking in areas that need it. I'm going to pass it over to my esteemed judges for questions and or comments.
Crystal, I'm not sure if I missed it, but how do we get the water to the ATM? Where does the supply? Where is the water supply?
Well, this is proprietary a bit. So that is where the engineering happens. So there are multiple answers to your question. And I don't really want to put them all out there because, like I said, that is maybe intellectual property.
Okay.
But there are multiple ways for water to be served into the ATMs.
Okay.
My question is in terms of capacity, Crystal, in terms of the projection of 20 liters per day, when the actual projection of water use individuals about 50 gallons per day. I'm trying to see how the 20 liter allocation from your projections cushion into that 50 gallon utilization per family per day, and how that will translate in terms of revenue for use by potential clients.
Right. So this is why we need cooperation. So this is part of the assessment process. And if the demand is in excess of what we can supply, then we won't be able to give people their daily quota. So that is why we must have cooperation to establish exactly what the demand is. And that is how we establish the capacity.
Okay.
Any other question or comment?
Great presentation.
Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Crystal Hall just presented for solar-powered water ATMs. And I do realize that a lot of the challengers are trying to really meet our citizens where they need a lot of help, whether it is air and respiration or whether it is water. So we're coming down, or we have come to our very last challenger. We always say last, but certainly not least. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for WACO Limited.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Julian Mowat.
Hold on, let's see what's going on with your mic. Speak up, let me see.
I'm Julian Mowat. Okay. I'm Julian, and I'm the founder of WACO. Just as you would say one company in Jamaica, WACO. That's how it is.
Wow.
Yes,
Company.
one company. And
Something is wrong with this slide.
so it is said that we're here to create history, not to repeat it. In order to do that, we have to be aware of our past. So we're going to look behind, and that is my introduction section. Then we're going to look at our current problem that we're facing, look at the analysis, the solution that WACO provides, and end by seeing how our investors and the JN Foundation can help us to realize our dream. Okay. Okay. I think you all use up the power on this thing. All right. So looking at the past, what Statin has said to us is that over the last 20 years, we have no doubt seen an increase in the anthropogenic effects of climate change. That has manifested itself in increased droughts, prolonged droughts, and more intense rainfall, floods, hurricanes, tropical storms, we know it. And the side effect of that, or one of the major effects, is that there is, as we're experiencing now with the passage of, was it Zeta, and the flood that's ongoing, we know that this affects our economy. What Statin has said to us is that every year we have a drought or even a little flooding. It affects, there's at least $1 billion, almost $1 billion, an average of $1 billion that is spent on our GDP to recover from these events. And so we need to learn from this. What is persistent in these situations is that whether we're in a drought, which is the most obvious case, there is reduced supply of water. So there is, we're put on restrictions, lot costs for different times of a day from MWC if we're fortunate enough to have treated water coming through our taps. Not all of the island has actual access to NWC treated water. But in terms of flooding, when there is a flood, we also have the problem of not being able to have water, as we had yesterday with NWC saying that, okay, due to turbidity on our network, we have to shut it down. So what we're finding is that we need to protect against this system as again, we need to learn from our past. And the current situation is that what makes the situation worse for NWC to provide us with services is the fact that their infrastructure is aged and is prone to leakage. So what WACO provides as a solution is a data collection system. A data collection system, data collection and sharing, where through our app, persons like yourselves in Jamaica and across the region, when you come across an NWC leak or broken main, you can take a photograph, which would be geotagged, uploaded to our system, and that data will be shared quickly and seamlessly with the NWC. And that, we hope, will promote the conservation of water by reducing waste. What happens currently, and to manifest the need for our system or solution, is that well-intentioned persons like yourself have actual no easy and efficient and effective means of reporting major leaks, whether leaks in general, whether broken main or just a little trickle. What we have is a typical day. Diana McCauley or any other concerned citizen would go on social media, whatever platform you can think of, they're just all dispersed across social media to say, hey, there's a broken main here, and hope and pray that it would come to attention of the utility for them to act. This, however, doesn't always happen, and it doesn't happen in a timely manner. So we Okay, so the app, I wanted to go to another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just crave your indulgence at this time while we just...
Right there, thanks. So to emphasize the need for the project, for this particular product and our value proposition, is really the fact that by NWC's own admission, this is their data, which they have put out on their website, is that on any given month across their network, there's anywhere from 150 to 1,000 leaks. And that is, you can just do the math. I'm sorry, that figure is not correct. I was trying to do some calculation as to what the billions of gallons of water that go to waste every year, but I couldn't come up with a figure. But you could figure it out for yourself. It is astronomical. What is more important is that by NWC's own admission again, a typical leak goes unrepaired for 5 days. Wow. Imagine that, 5 whole days. What we are proposing is that our solution will be effective, is that consumers, just like yourself, you don't even have to be a paying NWC customer. You can spot a broken main, slow down, stop if you choose, snap a photo, upload it, and that's it. Your civic duty is done. You won't get a medal, but you'll be doing your future generations a lot of help, because as we know, water is a precious commodity. When we do a calculation, again, from NWC's data, in their 2018 to 2013 Auditor General's report, she found out that $132 billion they have lost over that period due to water leakages alone. When we divide that, we see that that is on average almost $27 billion a year. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm suggesting to you that this app is very necessary, because most persons, most Jamaicans want to do the right thing. They want to report. But NWC's system is very cumbersome. When we speak of the competition that exists now, really there is none. The alternative to using our app is that you will have to go onto NWC's website, fill out a form, put in your customer number, and wait 3 days for them to come and fix it. What we're proposing is that if we feed them that data in a systematic way, in a quick manner, then they will have the impetus to go and fix the problem more quickly, so that less water will be lost on the system.
All right, thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Waco. Like wanting Waco Limited. I'm going to pass it over to the judges. This is our final challenger, our final pitcher, and we await the questions and or comments from our judges.
Just one question from me. I think you have a pretty good idea, but my question is, who exactly is the client? Water Commission or members of the public?
The primary off-taker will be the NWC. When we gather the data, we hope to contract them to enter into a licensing agreement with them, whereby they will pay in the financials. We had a projection of somewhere about half of our startup costs, around 2.5 million, and then there would also, so that would be for them to access the data, and then thereafter there would be subscription fee that they would charge and return to us from their subscribers, which would be their customers. Presently, there are over 400,000 registered paying NWC customers, and we are targeting a fraction of that, just 25,000, to subscribe to our use our software, and they will get added benefits as well from NWC.
So you replace their customer support department there?
Precisely, because that is obviously lacking, while they're not able to actually process the information that they're getting, because persons do report, but it's the response time that is slow, and that is the need that we're trying to meet.
Any other question or comment?
We also intend to go into other regions, so NWC is not our only customer. Yes, obviously the only utility in Jamaica, so it's a monopoly, but the app will be bilingual. It will be enabled in Spanish. One of my partners is a US environmental lawyer, and she's very anxious to have the system rolled out in Puerto Rico because they have similar problems. Actually, all small island developing states are a captive market for this project because monopolies persist there.
On that note, can you expand a little bit more about your team? We didn't get to hear.
Yes, so the team, I am an energy and environmental lawyer. My brother is an environmental engineer, I have also an MBA finance person who will take care of our accounts, and my administrative, logistics, and marketing personnel is sitting at the desk over there. And I have strong connections across the region, so as I say, I'm very anxious to go into other markets.
In the context of NWC, so for the 5 years, 2008 to 2013,
Yes.
they projected $132 billion loss in leaks. How much of that do you envision yourself being able to recover or target? How much of that are you targeting as recovery going forward?
Well, definitely all of it, because what we're saying is that the main reason why there's so much, the volume is so large is because the leaks persist for on average 5 days. So what we intend to do is to get the information quickly from the persons to report, because currently NWC staff have to go around the network and find out these leaks for themselves, or customers report. So when we're attacking the reporting aspect, that being more timely, users like yourself are able to provide the information quickly, and then that will be transmitted to NWC, and when they need our help, we'll process that and ensure that it is communicated effectively.
All right, thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our very final picture. I don't know, Jane Foundation Climate Innovation Pitch Competition. There were over 40 applicants from what I understand. We said earlier, many were called, but few were chosen. Congratulations to each and every one of you in the room. I can say on behalf of the general manager and the teams, and of course the partners here of this particular innovative challenge, job well done. Thank you for taking the problems and the pain points of our citizens and making it your top priority. The judges are now deliberating individually, and then of course we will look at the numbers. So while they do that, we got a surprise guest, and he really does not need any introduction. But living up to his epithet, this gentleman only needed one shot. And now he's known for his gutsy tunes, his conscious meds, and his soulful lyrics, like Bank of Hope, Stronger, and much, much more. Some of us in the days used to call him Assassin, but all of us can call him Agent Sasco. Put your hands together and welcome Agent Sasco.
Check of respect in all aspects. You know the thing of JN Foundation. I want to say big up to all of the contestants or the challengers tonight. Rotted people. I say remember this guy. I wonder if it's like riding a bike. No, listen, from March, I'm not sing in front of people, you know. No, serious, for the last, how much months that gone now? I sing to camera, I just look on the camera, this look more fabulous. Dr. Dre, make something clear. I ain't sing go. No massive. Oh, by the way, you know I all for them thing to water project and thing, because I have 3 water in my yard, you know that, right? So, I want to present, but yeah, big up yourself. I know I'm not biased now, big up to all of the challengers and I just say, you know, because I have care too. So one of them something could have heard. Are you all going up? Hey, giant massive step, we put your first and second and third. Watch your blessings come forth, blessings come forth. It is a miracle to make your thing shot and not end up a gun coat. End up a gun coat, yes. Growing up on the banks of the hope. We never give up and we never lose hope. So we never sell out and never sell dope. No ironically, everything what we say, they say is dope. Listen, it never break with spirit growing up, bro. Roll out, smelling like carbolic soap. Yes, a regular we run boat just to stay afloat. And we run jokes just to cope. And you know, social mobility, limited scope. But mama make we know say time longer than rope. And we not frightened of it, nothing. We used to go without food stamp and no stamp full up with passport. Hey juvenile, no put no gun in your jack sport. We collect no bank now, cause that are the wrong sport. Everybody want a bus like public transport. We a hold the phone, everything's curry like gold. Put your first and second and third. Blessings come forth, we blessings come forth. Oh yes, it is a miracle. Your thing shut and enough. And I go people there, so that part of them say, Growing up on the banks of the Oka time, we never give up and we never lose hope. So we never sell out and never sell out. No, we're running with the bitches, but we say the same. No, you want mark out up road to back road. Have to make a mark like the chart on the blackboard. Yes, we have to do one thing for mama pass load. I'm a swearing now, we take a clock load. So here and now, the one that have and run and walk back to come and till my could have to kill me car. We now go both for summer, now we now go back the station. Answer to the summons, we putting up resistance just like baby summon. First, second and third, blessings unfold, yes, the blessings unfold. Oh yes, it is a miracle to make your thing shut and not end up a gun fought. End up a gun play and say, oh yes, growing up on the banks of the Oka time, we never give up, never lose hope. We never sell out and never sell out. Make it play, Dr. J. How it goes? I just say, growing up on the banks of the, yeah, we never give up. All right, they want to feel like it, we feel like it. All right, Jay, pull up now. Yeah, we feel like it. Yeah, we feel like it now. But what's the, you know, vibe now? Yeah. So, like, I don't know, I mean, as I said, no, seriously, I try to figure out all this thing I go for sure. Like, really. Kind of vibe we do on our show. How much time I have, first of all? There's how much time? Come here, one alarm I go off every minute. Seriously, how much time I have? So I said, just go on to the judge and make up their mind. But on a serious level, though, everybody do it. 20, no. Can I move in target this near 10 minutes first? No, we can't go on still. But now, on a serious level, how is everyone doing with this pandemic business? Big man, you can take out the mask, you know, I see nobody near you. No, I guess it's all a moving target. We have to figure out as we go, right? But the greatest thing is we're there, and we give thanks. And we also said, no respect to Jane, because, you know, them things are these initiatives, we need them things as a developing country and them things. So give Jane a round of applause now. That may talk about. All right, so that being said, me is a $3 million on offer, so naturally, I come make a pitch for my thing. What am I like? You see how life stay? I can't do a presentation like come there. They support my idea shot. Me a man ball out so them thing they register. Well, everyone of my thing them copyright up and things, so I can talk about them big and bossy. So here we are going now. But what's significant, you know, say healthcare is a serious thing. All in the first world country, them are grappling with it much less in a third world, well, developing nations like ours. And what kind of wicked man this? You a video call I make when I present me thing? Oh. Yes, massive. So we'll talk about healthcare in Jamaica. Go to the principal office now. Yeah. That may I say. Now, back to the reasoning. Healthcare in Jamaica. See, pandemic come out, and one of the first things them ball out and say, listen, we can't manage this, you know, because healthcare can't take nothing more than it done and already. So you have a thing named diabetes, no matter that one there. See, these are lifestyle diseases, them say down. Diabetes, ease off of the sugar, and what you call it, high blood pressure. What do you call that one there? They have a fancy name. Yeah, yes, that one there. Zine, what them I don't want to cuss about the non-communicable diseases. Zine, you have one more. Cholesterol, yeah, cholesterol. That one I want to talk about. Heart disease business. So here's my proposal now. I have this, I work on an antidote for a next type of heart disease. They don't really talk about that one enough in healthcare, but it's about enough. You say dirty heart, you have a dirty heart disease. They might laugh. Yo, Dre, play the song. No. This is the antidote for dirty heart. And all you have to do is just sing loud and make your conscience set you free. The song say, when I see my friends become my enemy. So I stay far. I see the clean out people. No link, no fire. Say dirty heart can't see with room. Oh, they are like the trees they can't bloom. And they shall show only Yeah, yes I know. Oh yes, we know. The only can show the 3 million is going. All right. We supply boy, and they shall show only back. You watch out now. I'm gonna say, hear me no Jane. No for them now go like that junior. Bad mind stuck in a they made like a tomb. I say, they fake like 3 stripe. Pan a night made by Puma. Them table leap and I saw the leap a room. Start go, you not till them I say you back out. You get your visa, you fly out. Them a pay for you drop out. Them sit down and I calculate fine and you back out. Them say them are your friend, but them are I'm about the clean and people say,
well, oh, the heart can sweep with broom.
Oh, they young lights they can bloom, and they shall show only.
And I know,
oh yes, we know.
Dirty heart can wash with soup.
Here we know, so
there is no bad mind and to do.
No bad mind and to do it. No, me work for one tonight. Play my level 3. I remember the great bad man. They say, man to man is so. All I them now sing. What the man say? You don't know what, who to trust. The great man did say, your worst enemy could be a wine set and your best friend. Oh Lord, because of them though, cause some will eat and drink with you. All your curry go to. And then what? And then behind them so super you. Oh, don't you know, say that at you. What the man say? Only your friend. Sour, only can do what I say. Let the clean out people say, who that can. Oh Lord. No, them out the clean. Why you them sing? Say, who that can fit. Say what? So kill the rhythm, Dr. Dre, I say. Oh, dirty heart can't sweep with broom. Oh, they are like the trees we can bloom, and they shall show only. Remix. You seek of only vanity, they got no love for humanity. They shall. Yeah. I look like I might time back, no? How much time back? No, one more. All right, we're going to do one more. I want to say, I'm not singing, I want to say, on a serious note, big up all the challengers tonight. I remember I said, regardless of what the judges decided, yes, Terry, that means that regardless of what is decided by the people over there, so just understand, so everybody will present tonight, winning because your ideas are all good, me did I listen, and think, and yes. So give yourselves a round of applause, all contestants, yes. Dr. Dre. Hey, watch out now. So who call it the 3 million nighter? Big up yourself. You know the thing up. And I hope to see the thing them on the market. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yes. Did worry so the PVC now the angle of the thing that I have to treat. But I love how you deal with it. You see? And you are going on. All the challengers, everybody in the place, let them know. If I'm going to tell them, say we're winning right now, you win. Oh yes, we're winning right now. We forget the trophy to what we're living right now. So what? Tell them we're winning right now, yeah. And we're chilling right now. Like. Oh yes, we're winning right now. What? A Thanksgiving right now, yeah. I think about that you winning. Yeah, what? Everyone go tell them, say, I'm winning. When I hear you massive, I'm winning. Oh, clean out people say I'm winning. Lord, hey, watch you know when, you know when, see you know. Say I'm a walking W. Learn from the else. We turn them in a medals, in a trophy and belts. Every day you see me with the pan and next flavor. We pray outside we cracking eggshells. Every single ounce of effort we expel. It's all about progress, so we have to excel. I watch out. Looking like success, we dress well. Boom. Another knockout for them ring the next spell. We about to send the 8 of a car to get well because them sick of it. Hey, watch out. Oh God said them sick of it. But that's the oldest of it. I hate in other duty when we didn't have it. So one more time say, I'm winning. Hey, they can do tell them say I'm winning. All the challengers tonight, you know you're winning. But they see you, they could have now shot. And then you know say what? Winning right now, say we. Oh yes, we're winning right now. We forget the trophy to what we're living right now, say. I'm chilling right now. Oh yes, we're winning right now. Thanksgiving right now, yeah. Hey, watch out now. Every day you see me, we are the reigning champ. And the cloud with the silver line, the raining from. If you see some of the places where we hailing from, it's just the type of place you should be failing from. But now I'm in it, yeah. Every quarter, every inning, and I hope you listen keenly to the words of that I'm singing now. You know that there's no giving in no matter the circumstances we living in. So online crew, winning. The people in the place I said I'm winning. Nobody respect massive, that's agent Sasko at the time. Enjoy the rest of the proceedings. Terry! Yes. Welcome to your timekeeper, hello, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Agent Sasko, no man. We know that we don't have a lot of people in the room because we can't have a lot of people in the room, but it did go on, though. It did go on, though. No, I just want to take the opportunity because Agent Sasko rich. He's a real rich. So he kept on saying that the winner at $3 million. I just want to remind us that is $2 million. That Jane, unless Agent Sasko are itchy in the next $1 million. Because I him say we're winning, right? But job well done. And for those of you who follow him on Instagram or across his social media platforms, the reason why I thought he was like the perfect guest artist is not just because of his songs and his lyrics, but if you follow him, you will know that, as him rightfully say, him harvesting rainwater. And if you follow him, you'll also know that him plant him own food. Like he literally sows and eats what he sows. And by the way, he also builds houses and things. Like him can come and build your office and build extension on him house and these things. So he really is a 360 individual. And I just want to say big up and respect to Agent Sasko for really coming through and for celebrating with us. I have gotten no paper. The judges disappear? Oh, I thought the judges made their decision and disappeared because they're still deliberating. Okay, all right, not a problem. No, a lot of you, the 8 of you would have had the opportunity to go to your boot camp. You would have learned from the different persons about your SWOT, your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, as well as the gaps that needed to be filled. Now we're going to hear from 2 of the challengers on behalf, I believe, of the entrepreneurs. And this is what we're calling our entrepreneurial experience from the mouth of, I believe it's Nia and Alexia. Kindly welcome them. You would have done the boot camp, you would have learned a lot, and so now it's a chance to hear from you on behalf of all of the other challengers.
Good afternoon, everyone. So Geonosi has been asked to give the vote of thanks. Firstly, let's thank the JN Foundation and their partners, the Climate Investment Fund, PPCR, IDB Group, IDB Labs, for partnering on the Climate Innovation Challenge.
To the General Manager of the JN Foundation, Mrs. Onika Barrett-Scott, thank you for being the climate warrior we needed to push the water security agenda forward. We thank the judges, Catherine Chinsey, Dr. Riley, and Kim Atkinson, for giving us their time and offering their expert feedback.
Special thanks also to our facilitators over the last 2 days, Mr. Darren Bent, Mr. Carlington Burrell, Miss Nalini Jagnarine, and Miss Cornelia Walters-Jones.
To our hostess with the mostest, Terry Carell Reed, for guiding us so gracefully through the proceedings this evening. Thank you. To the agent from the Banks of the Hope, ratings for coming to talk how him feel.
Thank you to the staff of the Jamaica Pegasus for keeping us cool and hydrated during our water challenge. To the technical team, hats off for keeping us connected.
And finally, to all the participants, Thank you for sharing your innovative ideas with all of us. It's been a pleasure meeting all of you, and we hope all of your plans become reality. Thank you.
Thanks again.
All right, thank you so very much, Gianosi, for for delivering the vote of thanks. We do appreciate it. We're getting closer and we're waiting for the judges. But what we'd like to do is we'd like to acknowledge each and every one of you in this room. Again, only 3 persons or 3 teams will be called, but we do not want you to stop here. A lot of the ideas here are extremely remarkable and they have a place in the market. And so at this time, I'd like to welcome back to the stage our project manager, who I do believe we should really give her a round of applause, Cornelia Walters Jones, who has really spearheaded this project. And what she's going to do is give out our certification of completion, and then we will announce the winner. We invite Lenika Roden, eBiome. And we do understand that not all team members might be here, but we still would like to acknowledge them. So Lenika, who is here and who presented on behalf of eBiome, will take the certificate of completion on behalf of herself as well as her partners or her team members who could not be here. Thank you so very much. For Pre-Labs Limited, we welcome Yakini Wallen Bryan to the stage. He was the man who was going to tell us how far the water was in our tank and how to turn off our water remotely. Which reminds me that I heard about a story about and this is a true story here in Jamaica, about a man who every time he went to work, there was somebody who was living in his house while he was at work. And this man was eating out his food and showering and using his water. And the man could not understand why his bills were so high. So if he had something like what he's creating, I would imagine he could turn it off remotely. And check on your house when they're not there. Yeah, God, these things are true. Okay, Artel, Tracy and Hyman. And Ryan Scott, I believe. The man with the bow tie. This was Artel, talking about being proactive instead of reactive and trying to predict something before it actually happened and putting the things into place. I learned quite a lot from being here. Thank you so very much, Artel. Gianosi, Alexia Gray, and Nia Ramsugun. Aye. They just delivered our vote of thanks on behalf of all of our pitchers, the challengers, our green entrepreneurs in the room. And we hope that anybody who is watching remotely on the JN Foundation YouTube as well as Facebook page, we hope that you guys would have inspired another generation of green entrepreneurs. Thank you, Gianosi. We move to Integrated Recyclers Limited. Davion Morrison, the man who spoke about sargassum and how we can use that and recycle it into making feed for goats. Thank you so very much, and we wish you guys all the best. We move from Integrated Recyclers Limited as they get their photo up, and we go to Ceres Labs, and this is Ceres, C-E-R-E-S, not to be mistaken. And Kruma Fong, the man with the prototype and the patent and the passion. Thank you so very much for coming through. We welcome Crystal Hall representing solar powered water ATMs, and we say thank you for accepting the JN Foundation Innovation Challenge. These are our green entrepreneurs, our water warriors, our climate change activists or advocates, depending on how you want to look at it. And we thank them so very much for their time. Last but not least, we say thank you and welcome to Waco Limited, using that mobile app to be able, as a user, to generate the concern and then taking this data and sending it right to NWC or other entities in the region. Job well done. And we hope it will be en español también, ¿no? Qué bueno, qué bueno. Felicidades. All right, thank you so very much. So now I believe we have the results. Do I get a drum roll? All right. Now I would just like to let everyone know that the judge's decision is, which means that whatever they say is, which means you guys cannot say anything afterwards because it is. All right. Now everyone is a winner, and we thank you so very much for being a part of the JN Foundation Climate Innovation Challenge. As it is said, never waste a good crisis. Our amazing entrepreneurs are helping us to battle this existential crisis with innovation, hope, and well thought out ideas. Each of tonight's contenders were selected from a pool of over 40 applicants and have already earned the prize of being selected to attend JN Foundation's first ever Climate Innovation Bootcamp. However, 3 of these contenders will walk away with a big basket of brata, as we would say in Jamaica. I would like to invite Mrs. Nadine Brown of PIOJ, if she's still here. Thank you so very much. To make the presentation to our second runner-up. This is the person in 3rd place. The second runner-up will walk away with $575,000 as seed money. And this person or this entity is, I don't get no drum roll, I don't get no excitement, I don't get no nothing, I don't get no table clap, I don't get nothing. The second runner-up in the JN Foundation Innovation Challenge is Integral Recyclers Limited. The man who spoke about using sargassum. That is very pesky. It is annoying. It is irritating. And yes, it can, in fact, be a deterrent for a lot of us who want to go to the beach. He figured out that he could take this and recycle it and turn it into feed for goats, and that it would actually provide more minerals than the grass that they already consume. Fantastic way of showing you how you can be a green entrepreneur. Congratulations. Thank you so very much to Nadine Brown and PIOJ for being a fantastic partner. The first runner-up, in other words, the second place, walked away with $800,000, I believe, correct? Of seed money. The first runner-up is, yes, I do need to announce that, don't I? I'm just so excited. Where's Mr. Carlington Burrell representing the Caribbean Climate Innovation Center? Is he here? He's here. I was so ready to give away the $800,000. I forgot I needed a presenter. The man put on him jacket. But you were out here busting blanks when Agent Sasko, wait. But wait, thank you so very much for being an awesome partner. It was this was the partner for the actual boot camp. And so just show him some love. That is why your shirt color looked like that, because you were busy over there IG storying when Agent Sasko was on the stage. Where was I? First runner-up. Second place goes to Artel!
job at looking at mapping, looking at the existing issues, looking at how we need to integrate all of the elements and not deal with them independently. You see how the bow tie sell off? It came in handy for the photo op. And they matched. There were 8 pictures, 8 challengers. We've already announced the second runner-up, and we've announced the first runner-up. Third place walked away with $575,000. Second place walks away with $800,000. Thank you so very much, Mr. Carlington. I do appreciate it. And thank you for all the assistance throughout this evening. I'd like to invite the General Manager of the JN Foundation, Mrs. Onika Barrett Scott, who really has facilitated this. Thank you so very much for the vision. Thank you to you and your team and your committee for really putting this together. I'm sure the pictures have benefited. She has the task of presenting the first prize, which is a $2 million grant. 2 million JMD, you know? We just want to make sure for the friends of the media, we had Sasko saying 3 million earlier, so we just want to make sure. $2 million. 6 pictures left. The winner of the first JN Foundation Climate Innovation Pitch Competition is Prelabs Limited. The gentlemen who speak tech, the gentlemen who speak data, the gentleman who looked at the pain point of knowing where your water is, how to predict it, how to monitor it, how to follow it, and using, leveraging technology remotely to be able to look at your water and to monitor it and to manage it. Congratulations to Prelabs and congratulations to Yakini and his team. Yakini, of course, being the person who pitched, but of course, he represents a larger team, and we want to acknowledge you and we want to congratulate you on behalf of all of the others. Congratulations. I know that you guys had mentioned the different persons on your team who have different roles. Is there any other role that you may need to fill on the team? Somebody who speaks 3 languages, if you care to take this thing remotely. Sales is kind of hard. I don't know, but I'm just saying, you know, are there any other roles you might be looking for? Are you hiring? I'm just asking. Yes? The man just win him $2 million every time about you can send in an application. Prelabs, come off on my stage. Congratulations. Hype. Goodbye. To the general manager, thank you so very much. Thank you. Have you enjoyed the experience? No, I just want to make it very clear that even as a consumer, I know I was your MC for this evening, but I'm also a consumer. And standing on the side and sitting at the side and hearing the issues that you plan on solving, they're all issues that I would willingly buy into. So for those of you who may not have made the top 3, again, this is not the end. You got the experience. You got professionals who came in to assist you. You had an opportunity to pitch, which is just another stepping stone. So go back to work, look at the areas, even ask the judges if you have the time, what are the areas that you could possibly improve upon when you are pitching. And on behalf of the JN Foundation and all the sponsors and partners and to the esteemed judges, thank you so very much for your time and your energy and your effort. We say go forth, continue to inspire your generations to come and continue to be the green entrepreneurs you are. We wish you guys a safe travel home, and please be safe for the rest of the year and beyond. It was a pleasure being your MC. Take care. So we're inviting the pictures from all of the entities, all of the pictures. We're inviting all of the pictures, or at least the ones who actually pitched. So Lenika, Alexia, Crystal, and Kruma, Davion, we're inviting the pictures just for a group photo op. Onika, Nia, come. All of the team members. We're inviting Carlington, Mrs. Barrett Scott. We're inviting Yakini and team. If you are not as tall as the person beside you, you probably need to go to the front. But please make sure that you socially distance. Spread your elbows. Thank you so very much. Please make sure that you have on your mask. Please use your elbows to create space, to observe protocols. If you're seeing in the back of somebody's head, it means that we cannot see you.